10 Things Every Motorcycle Enthusiast Should Know About the 2022 Harley-Davidson Iron 883. The old-school Sportster Iron 883 will soon be gone from Harley-Davidson's lineup, but it's still available in 2022. Being in continuous production since 2010, the Harley-Davidson Iron 883 has been one of the most successful motorcycles of the Harley lineup. The main reason for its success was due to how similar it is to some of the yesteryear Harley models, and the same ethos is carried forward to the 2022 iteration of the Iron 883 as well. The 2022 Harley-Davidson Iron 883 retains the torquey V-twin motor and the handsome design language, both of which make the motorcycle quite appealing in this day and age. Apart from that, it is also one of the most customizable motorcycles that money can buy, and the mod potential is infinite. Available for sale at a base MSRP of $10,749. Here are 10 things every motorcycle enthusiast should know about the 2022 Iron 883. 10. Air-cooled V-twin motor makes it feel like a proper Harley. Coming with the air-cooled 883cc Evolution V-twin motor producing close to 49 horsepower and 54 pound-feet of torque, the 2022 Harley-Davidson Iron 883 feels similar to the outgoing model year. The motor has the distinctive potato sound and the torque on offer is very addictive. This helps in making the ride a bit easier. The low-end performance is decent, and the peak torque is produced at 4,750 revolutions per minute, which makes it very easy to move around the city traffic. The 5-speed gearbox has that distinctive clunkiness to it, and the gears drop into place with a loud sound. However, adequately light clutch and short initial gearing make riding through the city easy. 9. Vibrations are part of the game. This 2022 Harley-Davidson Iron 883 is one of the most vibrating motorcycles on the market. When the motor is idling, you could see the exhaust, foot pegs, handlebar, and mirrors vibrating continuously. Even though the motor is rubber-mounted, the vibrations will surely bog down the riding experience. While riding around in the city streets, the Harley-Davidson Iron 883 emits vibrations through the handlebar and foot pegs. The seats also vibrate quite a bit. However, it is not unbearable and the rider could get used to it. But, the vibrations on offer at the higher reverend range could be termed as intolerable, especially for someone who is not used to Harleys. 8. Terrible highway riding experience. Even though many of the owners of the Iron 883 buys it for its comfortable cruising experience, there are much better propositions you could get for a lower price. Motorcycles like the BMW F900R and the Triumph Bonneville Bobber are much more superior in terms of the highway riding experience. The 2022 Iron 883 doesn't have a lot of oomph higher up the reverend range and struggles to retain the speed limit. Even though Harley states that the motorcycle could clock a top speed of 105 miles per hour, the high amount of vibration coupled with no wind protection means it's not a good machine for tackling the American highways. 7. Not the most comfortable motorcycle for city traffic. The front and rear suspension setup of the Harley-Davidson Iron 883 makes it not an enjoyable motorcycle at lower speeds. If you are going at speeds less than 30 miles per hour, the short travel suspension at the rear is surely going to make your spine take all the impacts from the potholes and irregularities of the road. The front suspension is handled by the 39mm telescopic forks with 3.6 suspension travel. This is also nothing to write home about, as the front end feels unnecessarily stiff for a cruiser. The heavy curb weight of 564 pounds coupled with it being very front-heavy makes the city riding experience pretty terrible. 6. Has infinite mod potential. Being a Harley-Davidson, and an air-cooled one at that, the 2022 Iron 883 could be endlessly customized. When it comes to appearance, the wrinkle black Sportster primary engine cover, Harley-Davidson embossed timing cover, diamond black hand grips, mini-ape handlebar, Daymaker projector LED headlamps, etc. are the common ones that could be bought from the Harley-Davidson store. Lots of equipment upgrades, like the combination digital speedometer with analog tachometer, Screamin' Eagle Street Cannon exhaust and Street Tuner Pro, etc. can be added too. However, all of these are ridiculously priced, since they are official Harley accessories. Apart from that, some of the mods like the RSD's vintage handlebar, forward controls, smoked lenses, custom paint job, custom seat, etc. are common amongst the users too. Basically, the Iron 883 is a blank canvas that the owners can soup up according to their likes. 5. Runs very hot. Since the Evolution V twin motor in the 2022 Harley-Davidson Iron 883 is a low-tech air-cooled lump, the heat emitted from the motor is on the higher side. In stop-go traffic conditions, this heat from the motor gets quite unbearable, cooking the legs of the rider. The header gets seriously hot too. However, as the speeds increase, the heat emitted will not be felt by the rider. As a result, the excessive heating of this motor is not going to be felt on the highways or back roads, which is probably the main area this motorcycle would spend quite a lot of time. 4. Wooden brakes leaves a lot to be desired. The front braking performance of the 2022 Harley-Davidson Iron 883 is not what you would expect from a motorcycle that costs close to $11,000. Coming with a single 300mm disc at the front with 2 piston calipers, the front brakes are not enough to anchor this heavy-weight motorcycle. The bite is terrible and the progression leaves a lot to be desired as well. The front-end dive under hard braking is very high and that would be a huge turnoff while riding through the city streets. It takes a toll on the wrist as well. The rear braking performance is even more underwhelming. The rear braking is handled by a single 260mm disc and is not enough to stop the motorcycle from high speeds. ABS doesn't come as standard too. 3. Looks gorgeous. The 2022 Harley-Davidson Iron 883 has an unmatched road presence and that can be attributed to its typical American cruiser design language. Coming with no design changes from the outgoing 2021 model, the 2022 Iron 883 retains the classic round halogen headlight, blacked-out handlebar and mirrors, and the reasonably wide 100-section tire. The side profile also stands out from the rivals of the segment, even after so many years of being in production with an identical design. The 7-spoke wheel, blacked-out engine components, side panels, and exhaust system, and the sweeping tank design helps the motorcycle to retain the ethos of Harley. The rear looks ravishing too. 2. Build quality has improved quite a bit. Over the last few years, Harley has made huge changes to their subpar quality control methods and material selection, both of which have contributed quite well to building up their lost name. The 2022 Harley-Davidson Iron 883 is a perfect example of that. Unlike some of the Harleys of yesteryear, there is no rattling and squeaks from anywhere, which is a great thing to know. The wires are of high quality and are well insulated. There are very minimal exposed wirings too. Apart from that, the paint and chrome quality needs a special mention as well. 1. Misses out on many features. When it comes to the features and tech on board this American cruiser, people are going to be very disappointed. Even with such an exorbitant price tag, the 2022 Iron 883 lacks even the most basic of features. Some of the much-needed features like ABS, traction control system, and liquid cooling are missed out in this motorcycle. The instrument cluster is the same dated single-pod system with a massive speedometer and a small digital display. Only the basic information is displayed through this instrument cluster and there is no Bluetooth connectivity too. In comparison, all of the rivals get a much better instrument cluster offering much more information.